So tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a puppeteer. And I've been...
Check.
The art of puppetry developed hand in hand with human civilization. Puppets and the puppeteers who imbue them with life were part of the progression of culture, as stories needed to be told and lessons needed to be learned. But does a puppeteer have any relevance in today's high-tech world? Is technology eliminating the need for practitioners of this ancient art form? We're going to take a look at a special group of performers whose work within the entertainment industry continues to define the art form and push the limits of what is possible in today's ever-changing world. These performers are puppeteers who are members of the Screen Actors Guild.
My life as a dog.
Yeah, what's new Pussycat?
All dogs go to heaven?
Catmandu.
Dogma.
Oh.
Puppetry has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Everything begins with this skill of talking with the hand.
I like being a simple, stupid puppet.
No, I'm not stupid. You're simple puppet.
It takes two people to work me.
No matter how beautiful a puppet we build, somebody has to make it live and make you believe in it.
What? Who are those guys?
How was that?
The tiger is a very complex puppet. There are 6 people working together on this one character.
Can I get some water? Sing out now.
From simple hand puppets to computer-generated puppets, the basic hand movements are the same. The artistry and acting ability of the puppeteers makes it work.
In fact, the skill of a puppeteer can bring almost anything to life, from a piece of wood to these more familiar foam and fabric constructions, to these well-known characters from some of the most beloved films of all time.
Admiral, there'll be whales here.
In reality, a puppet is just an inanimate object. It is the skill and artistry of the puppeteer which brings it to life on screen. When puppeteers do their job right, nobody notices them. Sometimes the audience doesn't even realize they're looking at a puppet. It's no wonder puppeteers get little recognition from the public, but they are appreciated by the directors with whom they work.
These are wonderful creatures designed by Rick Baker. And what's wonderful is these are actual puppets. And behind that wall are 4 wonderful, or more than 4 wonderful puppeteers that are not only controlling these puppets, but actually speaking their voices and giving them personality. Puppeteers are great. They're, members of the Screen Actors Guild, and they're really wonderful performers.
In the old days, I would have to have major fights with the studios about the fact that when it's a puppet, it's a performance, and it needs to be a puppeteer who's in SAG.
Once you go worm, that's what you'll yearn.
They keep saying, no, it's a special effect, and it's a local 44 guy. And I said, a welder is not the same thing as an actor. Some of the effects guys, they do some amazing stuff, but they're not performers. So I got some good puppeteers, and they brought so much to it. Barry had so much fun with them, and just the improvised things that they did. A lot of that scene, they improvised the stuff that they were doing.
Although a single puppeteer can drive the performance of a simple puppet, the complex puppets used in film, TV, and commercials usually require a team working together flawlessly. The lead puppeteer defines the performance, but each puppeteer on the team has to do their job with the same amount of focus and skill, or the character will not be believable.
There's a great deal of art and technology, a combination of things that create the look, the reality that we have here. But the most important element that allows this to be real is the actual performance. And the performance of this penguin is done by puppeteers. These are the performers, these are the actors. All of the guys here are SAG, Screen Actors Guild puppeteers. They have to understand the movements and understand what dramatically is needed for the scene and perform as any other actor.
Specialized actors, known as suit performers, actually wear one type of puppet, the full-body puppet. These performers bring to life a large suit which can be hot, heavy, and difficult to move. Nevertheless, these performers are able to animate a character in such a way that in perfect timing with a face puppeteer, they create a live, spontaneous, and believable performance. Technology is now allowing puppeteers to work in the virtual world. This puppet exists inside a computer. The puppeteer animates the face in real time using the same performance techniques he would use to animate a hand puppet. This is different from the work of an animator, who creates the performance one frame at a time. Jim Henson pioneered the technique of virtual puppetry in the 1980s.
So, Jojo, do you recall seeing one of these before?
Sure! That's the electronic mitten thing you use to run the radio-controlled puppets like the Doozers.
Well, it's a version of it. But in this case, what we're doing is we're using it to create the picture of Waldo on the computer screen over there. Okay, and what Rex is doing is he's taking these moves that I'm doing with my hand and converting it into Waldo on the screen there, see? Say, listen, Jojo. Have you ever seen a computer graphic sneeze?
No, sir.
Oh, it's one of the wonderful sights in the world. Let me tell you. Watch this. Here we go.
Oh, my goodness. You seem to have sneezed your skin off.
Yes, well, I'm sort of a wireframe now. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
A Waldo isn't the only way to get performance information into a computer. Special sensors placed on our suit performer's body can track his motions and map them onto a character model inside the computer. In effect, the suit performer's suit has been removed and placed on screen. This technique is called performance capture. We now have the virtual world equivalent of the suit character. The work of the puppeteers to author the performance is exactly the same. What all of these very different puppets have in common is the puppeteer. Without the puppeteer, these inanimate objects would remain lifeless. Master marionettist Bob Baker, one of the first puppeteers to be covered under a SAG contract, describes how this came to be during his work on Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Alton and I played a show for Ronald Reagan. He was the president at that time of the Screen Actors Guild. And so he invited us to have a drink at the bar, and while we were there, Alton said, Mr. Reagan, what unit would we fall under if we're doing motion picture? And he says, it's very simple, guys. You'd be an actor. Well, how do you figure that, Mr. Reagan? You would be taking dramatic direction from the director. That makes you an actor. You're not taking a command from the prop people. So we said, would you mind writing that into the contract? And so that is how we've got to be in the Screen Actors Guild.
From a performance standpoint, today's SAG puppeteer is no different from today's SAG actor. They take dramatic direction from the director. They memorize lines and stage blocking. They improvise when needed. And they bring a unique performance to their character. The responsibilities of performing their craft are exactly the same. They just do it in a different way. The number of movies, TV shows, and commercials which have used the talents of SAG puppeteers is huge. You might be surprised to learn that a performance which had seemed so real or had made you laugh or cry, or even scared you to death, was created by the skillful manipulation of an inanimate object. What lies ahead is unknown, but we can be sure that the same techniques that have amazed, moved, and enlightened audiences for thousands of years will continue to live through the art of puppetry and through the mastery of this ancient art by today's SAG puppeteer.